So before we talk about P-Rod and video parts and skateboarding videos, etc., I need to address something. Every now and then, due to the nature of this channel and the video formats, talking head style videos, I will get people in the comment section saying things such as, does this dude even skate? He's a poser. He doesn't even skateboard. Bro talks about skateboarding all day long that he forgets to actually skateboard. But I get it. In this format, eventually newer people or people that haven't really looked at a lot of my videos are wondering the same thing for valid reasons, right? That's not the purpose of this channel. Like, this is mainly an informational news channel, but as a skateboarder and as a skateboarding audience that you guys are, it's a question that's decent. It's fair to ask. So for that reason, for the past weeks, I've religiously been getting away from my desk during work hours, bro. During work. And I made that a point, actually, not after work or on the weekends, during work hours, weekdays, leave my desk, whether it's lunch or like in between meetings, and I'll drive to my local skate park. That's Watauga Skate Park here in Watauga, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, and take my camera and film at least one trick and then run back to work and look at my emails and my team's messages and whatnot. But like, I made that a mission. Now that a few weeks have gone by, about a month, I have a little, I wouldn't say a video part, but a little montage of me at the skate park doing a couple tricks. Full disclosure, you'll never catch me saying things such as, I'm AM level, I'm pro level. No, bro. I love skateboarding. It's consumed a big chunk of my life so far, and it likely will continue to do so. It's a big part of who I am, but I just love it. I've been doing it for a while, but I'm not at that sponsor me level. But nevertheless, I skateboard. So for those inquisitive ones, here you go. Well, there you have it. Hopefully that'll keep the peace for the next few months until the next wave of questions comes again. Do you even skateboard, bro? But anyways, now back to P-Rod. So recently P-Rod sat down with Storied Skateboarding for like this podcast style type of interview, and they asked him a lot of questions. But the main question that jumped out at me where he was dropping gems was the following: were video parts more important 20 years ago? Dude answered, words of wisdom. Like, he's dropping gems left and right. I was shocked because it's such a small little compilation video. He said a lot of things, dude. Very true in such a small amount of time. So let's just watch the video together and we'll react to it. But dude, he knows what he's talking about.
It's hard to say if it's different now. I guess for me, in my perspective, it's different because I'm now been in the game so long, I'm on the inside, and at that time I was on the outside looking in, you know. But video parts to me these days are still very important, but they just don't hit the same, you know. I think it's just more because of just the frequency of how much stuff is dropping.
Let's stop right there. He says, you know, they're still important, you know, they just don't hit the same. Bro, I'd say they've massively changed. Not just saying the skill level, right? This is skill level aside. Skill has changed. Skateboarding has gotten crazier to the point where, like, bro, I thought this was only like a video game. In video games, you could do that trick. Now, like, everyone does them in real life. So, yeah, it's a skill has elevated. And I think it's also part of the accessibility of seeing other people's tricks all over the world in such a small amount of time. But just from I'd say a business model perspective, it's not even the same anymore, bro. Why do you say that? Because back then, this was the main source or the main marketing tactic for revenue for board sales or shoe sales. What do you mean, Skate Informant? So, dude, I'm in my 30s, bro, okay? So, I come from a time where the second a magazine would say, the Flip Team is filming, Baker is filming, Plan B's filming, you're like, oh my God, call my local skate shop. Is the video out yet? Bro, chill. They just announced it. We know the same information you know. Well, let me know whenever it's... How, bro? So, I would, annoy skate shops. You would go in there like, is it out yet? No, it's not out yet, dude. We'd let you know it's out. So I come from that world, and once the video came out, DVD, of course, you would purchase the video, right? So there is one source of revenue already, right? Purchasing the video itself with cash, right? Because it was DVD, it was a physical form. Next to that, once you get all hyped on the video, like, oh my God, Mike Mo was insane, or Mark Johnson, or whatever skateboarder you were a fan of, you were like, well, now I want his board. I gotta get his board, bro. The board that was in that video, I want it, or just his board in general, because you want to almost feel like you're a part of the video. Like, yeah, I'm part of this. I'm in the knowing. So, second source of revenue, bam, you buy the board that you saw in the video after you bought the video. Next to that, what kind of shoes are those? Are those out yet? Can I get those? Etnies, Fallen, whatever that was back in the day, and you would. Another freaking source of income, bro. So next thing you know, you're wearing all the gear or try to get as close as possible with the money you have available or whatever your parents give you. And now you give them 3 sources of income, dude. That's if you don't buy more boards, if you don't snap that board, if you don't get more shoes, if you're not sold to the idea of the team. Back in the day, the girl team, well, they're still pretty hot, but I'd say girl team was at one point literally like on the top of the food chain. Now it could be arguably, I don't know, April, Primitive, one of those. But back then, the girl era, dude, the Yeah Right era, oh my God, bro. They were dominant. You wanted to be, every skateboarder's dream was to skate for a girl, with Eric Costa, with Paul Rodriguez, with Rick McCracken, with all them dudes. Those were the sources of income. Now, dude, there's so much content on Instagram, so much content on YouTube. You can death scroll to death. You can stay up on your phone till like freaking 2 a.m. watching skate videos. They'll never end. They'll just never end. And not just from a professional or am perspective, dudes that nobody's heard of, just skateboarding in their local park or at a little spot, just doing crazy tricks, you can watch all day long. So I think there's an element of desensitization because it's so watered down. Like when the video finally drops, like you're like, yeah, the Primitive video was pretty good, but I mean, I see a million of these guys on my feed. I'm following a whole bunch of accounts of dudes that are really good. So it's almost like a little demotivated to focus or obsess over one particular skateboarder or one particular skateboarding team because there's so much of it going on. So you don't really buy the board if you don't have to. You don't really buy the shoes if you don't have to. You don't really, the videos are not even for sale anymore. So that part is non-existent. And we need to acknowledge that alone has impacted skateboarding revenue significantly. From a skate video part perspective, of course.
You don't have enough time to like really sit and like absorb the video parts the same way we used to as kids. Or maybe that's just me because I come from an era where we had to wait for videos to drop for years. And then you would watch those videos that you had over and over and over and over and over until the new batch of team videos came out. So for me, video parts just don't resonate as strongly as they used to. So I don't know what the real answer is. That could just be a me thing.
Can't ignore the fact that P-Rod was one of the first and last, for that matter, because it was very short-lived, to sell you a video online. That was never the case for skateboarding videos. You guys remember he released it, I think, on like Apple, on some kind of Apple form media download. Like, oh, basically like iTunes kind of. I'll look at the video. I'll put it somewhere in the screen here. But Me, Myself, and I. You guys remember that? And then people were trying to upload that to YouTube because that's whenever YouTube came out or shortly after. The video of P-Rod came out when YouTube was out. So people were uploading it to YouTube and then YouTube would knock it down because there would be like copyright strike. And you would just try to watch the video before somebody else would upload it and then get knocked down. So that was already a struggle, a tug of war of how do we have this industry locked in from a money sales perspective without the internet kind of ruining it for us. And what a shocker that freaking 20 years later, it hasn't been 20 years later since that, but it's been a long time since skateboarding videos were sold in physical form, and now you can't sell a skate video. Like, you can't do that. You just gotta put clips, teasers on your Instagram account. You yourself are the company. You are the business. So you have to strategize how frequent or what type of clips you put out. And then if you skateboard for a team, you have to commit to whatever contractual agreements you have with them, meet their quotas, and have video clips for them that are unused. So it's a lot of work, a lot less reward. Maybe some recognition, because social media currency is audience, right? It's people. So the more followers you have, that's how you're going to get paid, because you can sell them things directly without a middle person. So there's still a recognition element to it, but the cold, hard cash associated to skate videos directly is gone, is non-existent. That's why you got the Jeremy Rogers of the world back in the day, just living that baller status. No longer the case. I know Bam at one point was like stupid rich. I think he's come from money in a way already. I don't want to speak super confident on that. I can't speak to what the dollar amount his network was before that. But once Bam hit the height that he hit, dude was a rock star. And it's also to do with video parts and sales of his boards. The collabs with the Him band, you guys remember that? Audio was like being carried in part, not just by Bam, but Audio and Bam were like a big deal. Element Skateboards, of course, then. So that was the era that is no more. You don't get that type of sales anymore. You have to really become the company yourself. So, dude, P-Rod was 100% right on this. It's totally different game today, and I think it's up to each one of you guys, to the skater, to ensure or secure the bag and not wait for some kind of team manager or some skateboarding team to give you the full bag in your hand. Like, here's your paycheck, you're rich. Like, no, because the more hands it has to touch, the more it's tossed around the money, everyone that holds on to the money for a little bit before they pass to the next person gets a slice of the pie. Before you know it, you start off with a pie, now you get a tiny little slice. So direct to consumer from your accounts, from your links, from your website is the way to go today. So yeah, dude, skateboarding videos are dead from a money perspective. So that's my take, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.